My name is the driver's teacher. Today I want us to talk about something very interesting. Of late, you'll be seeing and you'll be hearing a lot of accidents on our road due to some of these things. Because most of the time, people do not really understand the concept or the kind of speed that they go or they carry on the road. What do I mean by people do not understand? Because per the laws of the country, every speed has its number of meters that is involved before a car will come to a complete stop. But here is the case on our roads in Ghana. Drivers do not really understand this concept that I'm talking about. Drivers do just go speed anyhow they want it, pertaining to how fast they want to get wherever they are going. And it is resulting into a lot of crashes. So today I want us to go through the speed limit signs or the speeds on our roads with a diagram or with a chart to explain every speed and the kind of meters or the kind of things that one needs to do before the car will come to a complete stop. Go to the charts for us to discuss what is on the board. There's something that I want you to understand, that whenever you are driving, there's a rule on the road that you should always follow 2 seconds rule on the road. That is leaving a space between you and the car in front. The reason why they said you should leave this space in front of you is to help you stop your car in a safer time or within a safe period of distance. But here is the case, drivers do not practice the 2 seconds rule that we are talking about. When we talked about 2 seconds, 2 seconds is being applied on a normal dry ground. But whenever it rains or there's any climate change, the 2 seconds does not become 2 seconds. It increases from 2 to 4. But when drivers are driving and it is raining, that is where we end up speeding, which is resulting into a lot of accidents or a lot of crashes. So today I want us to talk about the concept of stopping a car. I have just explained what 2 seconds is. Now I want you to understand that before you stop your car, there are 2 things involved. That is thinking and braking. So we said before the car will come to a complete stop, you need to think of what you are doing before you release your leg from the accelerator to the brake pedal, gradually till the car stops. So what I want my fellow drivers or my fellow road users to understand is that whenever you want to stop your car, there are 2 things involved. That is thinking distance plus braking distance. These 2 things will add up for you to be able to have a complete stop. So you cannot just stop the car just like that. So here is the case, if you are tailgating or you are practicing what is popularly known as bumper to bumper on the road, ask yourself this question: at what point would you think? And at what point would you apply the brake? So most of the time, whenever we practice tailgating on the road, we end up crashing the car that is in front of us. Immediately the car slows down or stops the car. So when we talked about thinking distance, we said thinking distance is distance traveled in the time it takes to react to a situation. So meaning the time you are going to reason or react upon what you are seeing on the road. That is what we are talking about. So ask yourself, you are too close to the car. At what point are you going to think? And at what point are you going to apply the brake? So we should take note of that. And this thing is killing us on our road. Don't forget, this particular month is not a good month. We are in a December month. This is where people drive colors and do all sorts of things. And also, election is over. People have won. There's a lot of jubilation and all that. Please be careful whenever you hit onto the road. So look at the concept of thinking distance. Let's look at the braking distance. We said braking distance is distance traveled from when you start to use the brake to when your car completely stops. So whilst thinking distance talks about you reacting, But braking distance talks about you taking off your left from the brake to the accelerator. So please take note. Whenever you are driving, never tailgate. Practice 2 seconds rule or 4 seconds rule in order to be safe on the road. So let's quickly talk about the speed limit with the thinking distance and braking distance for us to know that every speed at which you are going and the kind of space the car will be needing before it will come to a complete stop. So now let's talk about the chart that I'm talking about. If you look at the chart, we have speed, we have thinking distance, we have braking distance, and we have overall stopping distance. Under it, we have the kilometers, we have miles, we have meters and feet. You and I know very well that most of the cars in Ghana, the speed limit is being read in kilometers or miles, but most of them are in kilometers. So I'll use the kilometers to explain for the benefit of the doubt of everyone to understand. So when you look at the first, so this is the standard speed limit that we have in Ghana. So if you look at the first one, we have 32 kilometers per hour, which because 2 is not half of 10, we run it down to be 30. So meaning whenever you see any speed limit on the road which is inscribed 30, that is what I'm talking about. They gave you a thinking distance of 6 meters, braking distance 6 meters. So the 6 plus 6 will give you 12. So meaning whenever you are driving on the road and you are speeding at 32 kilometers per hour or 30 kilometers per hour, you need 12 meters space before the car will come to a complete stop. So ask yourself whether we do this. The next one that I want us to move on to is the second speed limit. That is 48. Because the 8 is half of 10 or it's more than half of 10, you run it up. That is 50. So the 50 speed limit you see on the road is what I'm talking about. So whenever you are speeding at 50 kilometers per hour, they gave you a thinking distance, 9. Braking distance, 14. So you could see differences. Total stopping distance is 23. It is not the same as the 12. So you can see clearly that the higher the speed, the longer it will take for your car to stop. But here's the case, whenever we are speeding, that is where we end up rather driving too close to the car, which is very bad. So if you look at the difference, 12 and 23, there's far difference, telling you automatically that the higher your speed, the longer it will take for the car to stop. So please take note of that. The next one is 64, which is 60. Thinking distance, 12. Braking distance, 24. Overall stopping distance, 36. So meaning when you are speeding at 60 kilometers per hour, you need 36 meters space in front of you or ahead of you before the car can come to a complete stop. So please don't just speed anyhow on our roads in Ghana. Try as much as possible to respect the speed limit on the road and go by the spaces involved so that you and I will be safe on the road. So take note of that, please. It's 81, which is 80. Thinking distance, 15 meters. Braking distance, 38. Overall stopping distance, 53. So you can see clearly from 1, that is 32, to 80 that the higher the speed, the longer it will take for the car to stop. And the next one is 97, which is 100. Thinking distance, 18 meters. Braking distance, 55 meters. Overall stopping distance, 73 meters. So meaning whenever you are driving, you need 73 meters space in front of you before the car will come to a complete stop. But we don't do that. So people are dying, or we are running into the back of people's car anyhow on the road due to the bad way of we driving on the road, which is not good. The last one is 113, which is 110. That is the highest of all the speed limits that we have. And you can only go 110 on the motorway, but people hate onto our highways and speed 180, 160. Some even go 200 and the rest. Please, per the laws of the country, the highest speed limit we have in Ghana is 110. And you are not expected to go more than 110. So with 110, thinking distance is 21. Braking distance, 75. Overall, 96. So you can see from the beginning, as I'm saying, the higher the speed, the longer it will take for the car to stop. So please, I will plead with you that whenever you hit onto the road, I beg you, make sure that any speed that you are going, you leave a space between you and the car, so that in case you want to stop the car, you stop the car with ease. You don't slam the brake in a way that all the passengers in the car will move forward and all that. No, that is not the best way of driving. As a driver, you should be able to drive that your passengers will sit in the car with comfort. You don't let passengers sit in the car and their heart is beating. No. The same way when you go to the feet side and you go to the miles, it's the same thing. So those that want to use the miles, you can convert kilometers to miles, and it's the same thing: 20, 30, 40, 60, 50, 70, and the rest. It's the same concept. So all of them, you must always try your possible best to respect the speed limit on our road. This will be the end of today's class. So if there's any question pertaining to what we just talked about, you can bring out your questions at the comment section. And if there's any topic you want me to also talk about, you can also bring it so that we all discuss. Don't forget that we are in December month. Whenever you are walking along the side of the road, walk to face the oncoming vehicle. Please, you don't stand so close to the road whilst you are waiting for car. You've been seeing the video that is trending. The children were standing there with the knowing that they are waiting for car before they realize a Trotsky has run into them. So whenever you are standing by the side of the road, please be careful and walk on the road with safety in mind. And also when you are driving, drive on the road with safety in mind. You can only do all what I'm talking about by you following the speed limit on our road. My name is the driver's teacher. Thank you for watching. Please share. Let your friends, let your people, your family, share it for people to also know that life saving is more important. We are losing a lot of life on our road. Thank you for your time and your participation.